Hello and welcome back to the Lil Yopo Show and hashtag Yopo News. I'm your host, Yopo as always, and today we have, of course, what the sentence of the video is. Bill Cosby, after drugging and raping a number of women, was released from prison today with no charges. Furthering that, he is now he is now barred from ever having another prosecution in Pennsylvania, which means that, well, what does that mean? He means that now no matter what he does, he cannot be charged with a crime in Pennsylvania. I am gonna play out this and when after the video is over, I will explain a couple things, and then I will show you guys a couple news articles and a couple of businesses that I believe need to be canceled and taken down because of this. So, without further ado, here we go.
After spending nearly 3 years behind bars, comedian Bill Cosby is out of prison tonight. Cosby joining his attorneys less than an hour ago as they talked about his release. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturning his sexual assault conviction. It's a decision that came down to a technicality. 11 Alive's Joe Ripley spoke with a legal expert to break it all down.
Judged, tried, convicted, and sentenced on sexual assault charges, famed comedian and actor Bill Cosby is walking free. A technicality of sorts got him out of prison. The Supreme Court of Pennsylvania overturned his conviction.
That technicality of sorts, I will explain why this technicality is a complete failure of the Constitution and the justice system.
Means that first DA made a critical mistake in agreeing not to prosecute Cosby, and it's only fair that Cosby shouldn't be prosecuted when they told him they weren't going to do it.
Legal expert Paige.
So, sorry for cutting it off again. That just said that the previous prosecutor said to Cosby that he wasn't going to charge him. And then, when Cosby took the stand to give his confessional, he was, of course, charged with his crime. But here is the key point that I will show you after this video that becomes a little bit corrupt. This whole promise of not charging Bill Cosby comes from the mouth of Bill Cosby, because it is said on one of the court articles that there is no evidence put into writing that there was ever a promise of that sort created. So there was no documentation, there was no signature by the prosecutor, there was nothing to actually prove that they said that Cosby wasn't going to get charges if he had taken the stand. I continue.
Pate explains, in a split judgment, the court ruled that Cosby's due process rights were violated when he was charged and convicted. Cosby had previously made an agreement with prosecutors that he could not be charged in the very case that landed him in prison.
There is effectively no other appeal. I believe he was released from prison today, and he's not going back, at least not in Pennsylvania.
In 2018, Cosby was sentenced to up to 10 years in prison for drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constant at his home 14 years ago. Several other women accused the former actor of similar sexual assaults, but Cosby cannot be tried again in the state of Pennsylvania. He donated millions.
Cosby can no longer be charged in the state of Pennsylvania. An 83-year-old rapist and pedophile can no longer be charged in the state in which he commits his crimes in the future. That is what that means.
Millions of dollars to Spelman College and Morehouse School of Medicine here in Atlanta, but in 2015 ties severed. Spelman suspended Cosby's professorship after he was accused of sexual assault, and the college said it returned the money back to the Cosby Family Foundation. And while this decision could prove challenging for other sexual assault victims, Pate says the 83-year-old's legal saga is over for now.
It doesn't in any way mean that Bill Cosby did not commit the criminal acts he was charged with. it doesn't in any way undercut the credibility of the victims who came forward.
It does, though, because what they're pretty much saying is yes, they realize that these women were through a horrible experience, but because of a word of mouth promise that wasn't even written down as evidence, that is something that is not admissible by court. No DA, no justice, no nothing will agree that that is the way that things are going to be.
This does not mean that the Pennsylvania Supreme Court doesn't believe them.
One of the victims who came forward told NBC it feels like a gut punch. But tonight, Felicia Rashad is speaking out about Cosby's release. In his defense, she's been one of his supporters.
So, that being said, the Cosbyfoundation is a pedophile friendly foundation, just like the Trudeau Foundation and just like the Clinton Foundation. All three of these foundations are pedophile friendly. So it's just a wild guess what happens behind closed doors and at meetups and things like that. Now that the video is over, I am going to show you a couple of things that I find interesting. So this is the news article, the Canadian Press by MSN News. I was going through this, and it right down here, the he was found guilty of drugging and violating a person, and then the Pennsylvania Supreme Court said that District Attorney Kevin Steele, who made the decision to arrest Cosby, was obligated to stand by his predecessor's promise not to charge Cosby. So this was going to be a cover up one way or another. There was no evidence. No evidence. There was no evidence that promise was ever put into writing. Justice David Recht. This is a man who needs to, his career will end because of this. And in a joke today, I commented that he is as greasy as Steinberg from Trailer Park Boys. But honestly, that is the full on case because he took Bill Cosby's millions of dollars and somehow found a technicality that wasn't even evidential, and he got him off. Said Cosby had relied on the former prosecutor's decision. The former prosecutors, right there too, former prosecutors. So, there was a new prosecutor that decided to charge Cosby because obviously he wasn't corrupt. And then Cosby, obviously, who had paid off this former prosecutor, was probably like, oh, I relied on what he said to me out of word of mouth. That is all everything is based on is word of mouth in this case. It's a complete joke of the Constitution. The court said that overturning the conviction and barring any further prosecution is the only remedy that comports with society's reasonable expectations of its elected prosecutors and our criminal justice system. That right there means that the court and the justice said that there's no way that now Cosby can be charged of any crime in the state of Pennsylvania. So that's great, isn't it? Because that actually makes a joke to the crime of sexual assault. And right over here, I wanted to show you guys Supreme Court. That's the number, the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania's number. Nope. This is the state attorney, or district attorney, my bad, statement after the court decision. The majority decision by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court orders the release of William H. Cosby by state prison. He was found guilty by jurors and now goes free on a procedural issue that is irrelevant to the facts of the crime. So they say that, yeah, you did that. You did that a long time ago, but you're forgiven and you can walk free. That's what happens there. And money talks. They said that millions of dollars was donated by the Cosbyfoundation, which has been made on the destruction of children. So down here is Justice David Recht. He won Oxford Center, 300 Grant Street, Suite 2400, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I think that's Pennsylvania. That's the area code, and this is his business number. I have called this business number all day today, trying to get some information, and I cannot get this information. So if anybody else um, would like to try to get some information from that law office or the receptionist or any of his coworkers about why he wiped his ass with the Constitution. And over here, I will actually show you something interesting. Right here is the PA State Rep, Frank Ryan, the impeachment of Justice David N. Weicht. So, this is a article of impeachment by the state rep, um, and it says in here, just gonna try to find an excerpt, that the justice's actions over the last 5 years demonstrate blatant disregard for the rule of law, the separation of powers, and the protections guaranteed under the Pennsylvania and the United States constitutions. When a justice engages in such misconduct, he or she endangers the integrity of the Commonwealth's judiciary and betrays his or her oath of office. That is proof that David Weicht has done this. And everybody at his law office says that he won't comment and nobody will comment. But he doesn't need to comment. We already know the truth. That is the truth right there. Because if he doesn't want to make more of the truth, then what State Rep Frank Ryan says is the truth, is canon. And that means that this man, David N. Recht, is a rape supporter and a pedophile supporter. He was paid off with dirty pedophile rapist money, and he let a rapist and pedophile go free. And that doesn't sit well with me, folks. That doesn't sit well with me at all. So we need to get Justice David Recht impeached, and Bill Cosby needs to die in his sleep or die in his home, or he needs to, now that he has diplomatic immunity for the state of Pennsylvania. There's no telling what he's gonna do, what he's going to be able to get away with. If anybody wants to speak about this in more of a debate sense, I am always open to it. Other than that, though, this has been the Lil Yopo Show, and hashtag Yopo News, signing off till next time. Have a good one, folks.